I'm nervous and I'm stressed. And the first time I felt like this in a very long time. Welcome to the RedFlex, everyone. This is part of our Europa League final preview. And I don't know how I feel. Honestly, this, like they say, Fergie used to say squeaky bum time. For me, it's stress piss time. And I don't know about you, but every time there's something important coming up, like, an exam or a big game, I need to I need to pee multiple times before the match starts. I don't know why, but I always get it, and I call it the stress piss. And I've got a feeling that that's going to happen today. We're going to get a lot of them today. So building up to the game, it is just gone 4:30 local time here in the UK on the 26th of May. We're a couple of hours away, 3.5 hours away from kickoff, 2.5 hours away from finding out the team news, and yeah, it's Samat Busby's birthday. The signs are ominous. It is also 20. I can't even do my maths. 22 years since the 99 treble. This day we won it in Barcelona. So yeah, there's a lot of history on our side, but is it a jinx? Is it not a jinx? I don't know, but it is. Um, I've already got a comment saying, "How will I celebrate when Man United win the Europa League?" I don't even want to talk about that yet. That's how stressed I am. Like normally, like I'm always confident. I'm still confident about Man United, but today I've just got a feeling that if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it the hard way. Like there's a lot of reasons. Like I don't want to be negative, but there's a lot of reasons why we may not do it. We've got a very young squad. Ollie's first final. A lot of the players' first final. Are they going to step up, etc.? There's a lot of things like that which are at the back of my mind, which are causing me a lot of problems today. I'll be honest with you. So that's where I'm at the moment. It's the first time, yeah, it's the first time in a very long time I've actually felt this way for a game, mainly because unfortunately Man United have not been in this situation for a long, long time. We actually took it for granted. Like obviously growing up in the Premier League era, we just used to take it for granted that United were going to be involved in some way, for many different things. So we're starved, to be honest. And I know, there'll be Chelsea fans and there'll be Man City fans watching this and probably laughing because you're in the you're in the Champions League. And no, credit to you. Rightfully, you are where you are. That's fine. You've got your own, like you're probably feeling the same way. Even though you may be confident, you've got this thing at the back of your mind. Regardless of the final, whether it's Champions League, whether it's Europa League, we are where we are now. There's nothing we can do about it. We don't want to be in the Europa League, obviously, but now that we're in the final, we want to win. Like it's a trophy in the cabinet. Its history is there forever. You know what I mean? People will always say, yeah, United X amount of Europa Leagues, X amount of Champions Leagues. That's fine. It's a trophy in the cabinet. You take it. It is what it is. You this is where we are. So yeah, I'm happy with that. But yeah, the reasons why I don't want to be negative, but there's reasons why I'm worried about this game. Like Arsenal fans are telling me, like most other neutral fans are telling me that Manchester United are gonna whip Villarreal today, and I would love for that to happen. I would absolutely want that to happen. We we should beat them comfortably. Now, there's the things that we've got going against us. Obviously, we've got Harry Maguire not playing. Either that or Ole Solskjaer is doing the biggest bluff in football history. But we can probably think that he's not playing. Yeah, he's got his critics, but he does what he does, and what he does, he's good at. He's got the most aerial duels won in the Premier League. I've got people messaging me all over the place. Right, I don't even want to talk about football with anyone else at the moment. I'm here. I'm in the zone, pouring my heart out to you guys. So this is where we're at. So Villarreal have a striker who has scored 29 goals this season. That worries me. That's a problem for me. You know, we're not the best as it is when it comes to defending, and we've got someone who's in imperious form. Usually we let them score. So that's what worries me. The McFred thing worries me in the sense that it's probably not the strongest midfield. Villarreal are known to be a good team when it comes to playing the ball around and things like that. McFred is an issue, especially Fred may be injured because he wasn't in the Wolves squad, so people are saying he may be injured. That's a problem. Do we play Pogba on the left? Do we play him in the centre? Do we go all out? See, there's multiple ways of looking at it. The McFred thing, you got to look at it in the sense that even when we've got our first choice partnership, centre back partnership, Ollie likes to play McFred. So when he hasn't got his first choice centre back partnership, he's even more likely to play McFred. So yeah, okay, let's just assume for a second that McFred pivot is on. So now we've got Pogba. He has to play. Has to play. Cavani has to play. Bruno has to play. Now we've got this right hand side. Now, what are we doing here? Are we sacrificing Mason Greenwood, who is, for all intents and purposes, in better form than Marcus Rashford currently? Do we go with him? Rashford off the bench? Maybe. You know, in a neutral argument, you'd probably think, yeah, maybe. But Rashford has got good numbers, 34 GA this season. You can't ignore it. Do you play him out of position? Bring Greenwood on later? There's a lot of permutations and combinations going on here. A lot. Kurt, United fan from Australia. Hello. Hi, Kurt. Thanks for joining me. I think you're probably, 10, 12 hours ahead. So it's either very early morning for you. Let me know. Is it very early morning for you there? So you're up early doing your preps. Let me know what your preps are for the game. I'd love to know that, especially anyone that's watching from different places around the world. So yeah, how do we approach this? Like when I see the team sheet, like the build up to the team sheet is going to cause me as much stress as the kickoff time as well, because finding out what's going on, my gut tells me it's going to be Pogba on the left, and then if we need to change the game later on, then obviously we sacrifice one of the midfielders, bring Greenwood on. That's what I think it's going to be. So I'll quickly run through my team. Anyway, seeing as though we're talking about the team, yeah, Kurt says it's 1:39 a.m. here in Australia, bro. So that means 1:39. So what? 3.5 hours from kickoff. It's gonna be a very early one for you, Kurt. But that's the dedication. That's the dedication of Kurt all the way out in Australia. He's dedicated. He's waiting for 5 a.m. kickoff. That's dedication. That 5 a.m. kickoff. Got his snacks ready. Everything's ready there. That's what I'll be having as well. I'll be joining some of my friends. We're bringing you a lot of other content as well, by the way. Hopefully there should be a reaction to the team news. We'll probably do that. Working on doing the watch along as well. So stay tuned for that. So if you do want to take part in that and want to be part of that as well, just to make sure you subscribe and follow us so you know every time we go live. So yeah, getting back to the point, I think it's going to be De Gea. I think it has to be De Gea. Whether it's his last game for the club or whatever, and if he's been demoted to second keeper or cup keeper, then you got to see it through now. You have to see it through. So I expect it to be De Gea. Wan-Bissaka, Shaw pick themselves. Lindelof is a shoo-in. And I think it's going to be Eric Bailly. I've got a feeling it's going to be Eric Bailly, unless he's injured. If he's not injured, it's going to be Eric Bailly. One, because Ole likes sentiment. Ole loves a bit of sentiment. And the sentiment that surrounds Eric Bailly on this occasion is the fact that, one, he used to play for Villarreal. We bought him from Villarreal. So Ole does like to play players against their old teams. He's done it. I think he did it. Henderson, when he wasn't first choice, I think he played him against Sheffield United. He made Tuanzebe captain against Rochdale because Tuanzebe is from Rochdale. So things like that, he likes a bit of sentiment. And also the fact that Eric Bailly missed the last time we were in the Europa League final. So maybe, it's a little redemption story for him. So it's a nice little storyline, let's say. So it's a nice little storyline. So we do that. McFred, like I said, and then obviously the rest picks itself. So that's where I'm thinking the team news is going to be. It's our strongest lineup. Let's be honest, it's our strongest lineup. So we really should be confident. We really should be confident. But Solskjaer, I think, doesn't have the greatest record against Unai Emery. I think Unai Emery is undefeated, I think, against Solskjaer in the last 3 occasions anyway. I think overall, I think it's 2 wins, a piece, and a draw. So make of that what you will. So another problem with Villarreal is their stats. Even though they finished 7th in the league, their stats in terms of shots on goal, chances created, pass percentage, they're actually 4th in La Liga behind the top 3. Atletico, Barcelona and Real Madrid. So their stats suggest they should be 4th, which worries me. Because if you're 4th only to them 3 teams, you've got to be half decent. You've got to be half decent. So that's where I'm at the moment. Like I said, I'm watching with my friends. I'm gonna be stressed, to say the least, watching this game. So I think we've got another comment here. I can see the commentator's final word already, and Solskjaer's one. Actually, that would be so good for the commentator to do it like that. You know what? That would just be beautiful. On the anniversary of the goal that Solskjaer scored. Yeah, I forgot to mention that it is the anniversary of the treble winning team of the Champions League final, which also marks the anniversary of Solskjaer winning it. What a great point. What a great point. Yeah. I would be over the moon to hear those words ring out again as we pick up the trophy. So Kurt says, Man United favourites to sign Harry Kane. What do you think? And do you think Old Trafford needs repairs soon, bro? Yeah, Old Trafford definitely needs repairs. There's a video going around on social media where it rained heavily in Manchester the other day and the roof was just, there was literally, it was like someone's pouring a bucket non-stop through one of the holes in the roof. So yeah, it is a bit of a disgrace. I personally don't think Harry Kane is favourite to go to Manchester United for a few different reasons, which I'm going to get to in a video after this final. Obviously, we've got some transfer news videos where we're discussing, the players that we should sign, and every member of our team will give his individual opinion. But just to break it down for you, Kurt, because you've asked, I don't think Harry Kane is favourite to sign for Man United. One, because of the Eddie Cavani situation. It would be unfair that you've literally begged Edison Cavani to stay at Manchester United for another season, only for you to bring in another striker who definitely is going to be first choice. So you've begged him to stay to put him on the bench. I think that's sad. And I don't think Ollie is going for that. I think the whole strategy behind Ole Gunnar Solskjaer going for Edison Cavani for another year is to put all the eggs in the Haaland basket for next season. I think they're going to try and buy what they can this year and pump every single penny they've got into getting Erling Haaland next year. That's what my gut reaction is. Number 2, I think the fact is Harry Kane, if we were to buy him, it would sort of be buying him to stop other teams getting him, which we've done in the past, and we've made big mistakes doing that in the past. Think of Alexis Sanchez. He was in Arsenal, he was a great player. He was a fantastic player. As soon as he come to Man United, we got him for the wrong reasons. His mental state wasn't right, etc. I don't think that obviously that will be the case for Harry Kane, but I think we'd be doing it for the wrong reasons. And number 3, which is unfortunate, and it pains me to say it, is he wants to guarantee himself trophies. And despite whatever happens tonight, that's probably not the case at the moment for Man United. We're on the way there, but we're probably not. The flip side to that is you could probably say, if you're Harry Kane, you could probably think, you know what? I'm looking at this squad, and if he's got enough balls to him, if he's got that ego, which you need as a top player, he could say, you know what? Me added to this team, I would make this team winners. I would make this team Champions League winners. I'll make this team league winners. So it just depends. Like, you've got to have that. It depends on your mentality. That's probably the question I'd ask a player. If a player was reluctant to join me, if I was a club manager or if I was a whatever, I'd say, and his reason for not joining me was like, oh, I don't think your club's big enough, or I don't think he's going to win trophies. I'd say to him, I said, do you not think you're good enough that if you came into this team, you would make us champions? So if he's got that mentality, then yeah, bring it on. Maybe Martial goes the other way or whatever, but that's another story for another day. We'll be discussing that in detail, what we think should happen, will happen in the coming days. So I think I've covered all the points that I had for this preview. If there's anything else anyone wants to add, that'd be nice. So let's see what we've got here. Man United in talks to buy Centre Coast Mariners Soccer Club in Australia on Optus Sport News last week. Bro, clickbait, Glazers out now, not soon. Yeah, we're doing our best to try and rectify the situation. But I think, again, talking about the Glazers, I think this summer is a chance for them to silence a big majority of the fan base if you go big. If you were to go big and get 2 or 3 big names this summer, I don't want to say it, but I feel as though the protests would probably die down a little bit. Like, if you were to say, look, here's Kane, here's Varane, and here's Sancho. We're sorry, we're going to put money in the club now, we're going to invest. What are you going to say to that? Like, what can you say to that? Like, you're going to buy those. People are going to buy those shirts. People are going to want to see those players. People are going to be happy. And to be fair, I will be happy. And that's the thing. Can they change their ways? Can they change their mentality to be like, right, okay, we, yes, admittedly have taken money out of the club, but now we're going to invest so much that we want Man United to be number one. Now, if we see that, that's another conversation to have then. But are they going to, does a leopard change his spots or whatever the phrase is? Unlikely. But if that was to happen, then we'd have to have another discussion. Like, if they suddenly became these owners that were pumping huge amounts of money into the club, are we going to want to get rid of them? Especially if they get us those 3 signings. That's, again, a conversation for another day. Final question we'll take. What happens if we lose tonight? So, what happens if we lose tonight is that the Ollie outers are going to be out in force. They're going to be out in huge force. The pressure for next season is going to be immense. But ultimately, I don't think it affects his contract situation. I still see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as Manchester United manager next season. For me, the fact that he's got a second is great, especially when he wasn't necessarily backed. Let's say, compared to like Chelsea, who got £200 million worth of signings, we got a couple of freebies. We got Donny van der Beek, who's not really been used. Whether that's our fault, his fault, that's a different story. Eddie Cavani was a last-minute fluke that just turned out to be amazing. So that's that. But you would expect him to be backed, because the Glazers do like to back usually when we're out the top 4. But I think now that we're so close, that Ole's done what he's done and got us where we are without ultimate backing, let's say, without a big name in the last window, I think he deserves it. But yeah, I don't want to think of a scenario where we lose this game tonight, but if we do, it just basically means our season was underwhelming. Like, second place in the league, great. A lot of people, the stick they used to bash Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the fact that his second place finish was 74 points and Jose Mourinho got 81 points. I don't see that argument at all, because the flip side to that, which I've said on to a few people, is let's just take the league as a whole. To finish 10th in the season that we got 81 points required 44 points. 44 points that season, you finished 10th in the league, which shows that everyone other than the top teams, like the top 4, I think you needed 70 plus. So outside of the top 4, there was a huge drop off in quality. So you would be expected to get 80 odd points for finishing second, because you would have beaten the majority of the teams well. Because if you're 10th and you've got 44 points, that's 10 wins. That's like 10 wins and a couple of draws or whatever. So you've probably won only a quarter of your games. To finish 10th this year was 59 points. So up to 10th place was 59 points. So if you're getting 59 points and you're only finishing 10th, that means you've taken a lot of points throughout the season. So how can someone in the top have 81, how can so many teams have 80 odd points? It just doesn't make sense because so many teams are taking points off each other. That's your argument in the water right there. That's basically what we're on. Kurt says it's going to be 4-0 tonight, Manchester United. Yeah, there's two scenarios in my head. One scenario is we're absolutely going to toast them. We're going to smack them up. I've got a feeling. Like, there's one scenario which requires us to start well and score the early goal, and I feel as though we can smack them well, like we have done to other Spanish teams. The other scenario is we freeze, which we are known to do in big games. We freeze, we may score the goal, they score the second, it's 1-1, it's cagey. That's where I've got a problem. That's where I'm going to be sweating. I'm going to take two shirts with me tonight, two Man United shirts. I'm going to take my zebra kit and my black away kit, because probably by half time, if the latter is the scenario, I'll be soaked in sweat. So I'm going to have to change my top at half time. But you'll know about that anyway. But yeah, that's the scenario. I'd love for it to be 4-0. You know, we're playing good football, just goal after goal, some sort of record-breaking final victory. I'd love it. But part of me wants to be cautious, which is probably why, rightfully, Solskjaer will be cautious as well, and why we'll probably see McFred. But anyway, everyone that's watching, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Thank you. We very much appreciate that. We've got lots more content coming for you today, and obviously for the rest of the close season as well. So we're going to still be active. We're going to still be busy. But thank you so much for joining me and helping me share my thoughts about what's going to happen in this game, which is about 3 hours away. And let's all hope for the best. And I really hope that the next time I see you, we are celebrating the fact that we are the best team in the Europa League. Thank you. Goodbye.